Hey guys, I hope that you are super well. I am back with a video that I feel like a lot of people have requested, especially recently. And I'm basically here to show you how I personally do all of my videos, all of my filming, all of my music. And I'm just gonna show you how I get it done basically. So I hope that this helps some of you. I just wanna start off by saying this video is not sponsored by anyone. All of the products that I use are stuff that I've either purchased myself, I still have downloaded, or they are stuff that I have acquired over the years. So I'm just gonna quickly give you a bit of a rundown on stuff and then we'll jump into all the products. So first things first, I literally do everything myself. I don't have a team, I don't have anyone working for me. Everything that I do is stuff that I make, and I am very well aware that I am not the best at certain things. I will hear the song and it really depends on how quickly I want the cover to go out as to how it will work out. If it's a really new song, I will literally put it in Logic and I will do it that day, and it might take 5 to 8 hours, and sometimes covers can take up to a week if I'm really not sure in the mix, if I have to keep coming back and listening to songs. So it really varies, but generally when it's a new song, it has to be done within 1 to 2 days. And when it's a song that I don't really have a time frame on, it can be done in up to a week. I used to be really good at getting my videos scheduled and getting them out there, but now that I do 2 videos a week, it's a lot harder, because if I did 4 videos, I was set for a month. Now, as if I do 4 videos, I'm set for 2 weeks, and then by the time one's gone up, you're down a day. It is really hard to keep on top of it, but I think it's doing good for my channel, and I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying the schedule. So if you have any comments or feedback, leave a comment. So a lot of the time, I don't actually sit and listen to the song over and over and over to get the structure. I'll usually download it as an MP3, then I will put it into Logic, and then I will work out the structure that way. I then will open up a metronome app. I literally have one called Metronome, and it's free on the iOS App Store. I will literally press play in Logic. I'll just tap until I get the BPM of the song. It really depends on the song as to whether I want it the same BPM or not. Some of Beartooth ones, they have a lot of vocals in the verse, or they cram everything together, or the screams are overlapping each other with like a lot of Amity ones. So I don't want them to be the original BPM, because even if I transpose it, it will just be really hard to sing. For me as a singer, I want to be able to sing lines properly. I do it when it's live as well. I always slow things down just because I want to be able to sing properly rather than gasping for air and sounding like I don't have enough time to sing the lyrics in. So I'm just quickly going to show you the gear that I use. So starting off with my electric, I have a Fender electroacoustic. The rumours are true, I am left-handed. Because I am left-handed, my guitar gear is kind of simple. Left-handed basics are a lot more expensive than right-handed are. This is electroacoustic. I have never once plugged it in. I probably never will. I'm sure I will upgrade eventually, but for the moment I am doing a lot more stuff on my electric. So my beloved electric is a Fender Squire Affinity. It's in like this mustard colour. It was pretty much one of the cheapest left-handed electrics I could get. Bought this a few years ago, and in all honesty, the reason that I bought this was in the hope that it would basically just allow me to demo original music, which is what it does. Holy was written on this, so I'm really glad I bought it. And I don't play live with this. It is literally purely for demoing purposes, but I knew that I would literally only be plugging this into Logic, and that's pretty much it, so it does the job, and it's a very nice colour as well. Next thing is my guitar pedals. So when it comes to pedals, I literally have one, and I bought it maybe 6 months ago or so, and that is all that I use, and I don't have any other pedals. The pedal that I have is Blue Sky by Strymon. They do also have another one that is slightly bigger and has a few more settings on it, but for me, I just needed something that was really simple. I think the larger one was about £400, so that's why I went for the Blue Sky, which was, I think, about £299, possibly a little bit less. None of my ambient covers have been used with the Logic plugins. It's all been a Blue Sky, and then with other stuff on top of it. Not sponsored by Strymon, I absolutely wish. I just really like this pedal, and for me, it's basically like the foundations of what I do. So yeah, that's all I have for pedals. I don't really know how much you guys want to see of the actual recording process, so I'm just going to kind of go through the programs that I use and show you the items that I have. This room is what we call the studio. We live in a 3-bed, and it is literally just set up for all of our music equipment. Monitors behind us, iMac, and then all of our guitars and stuff are just around the room. So I now do all of my work on my iMac behind me. It's a late 2013 21.5 inch Mac. Just in case this is helpful for you guys, its processor is 2.7 gigahertz, memory is 8 gigs, and I think storage is about 1 terabyte. So the light has massively gone down. If it looks like a different video, it's just because I'm in the UK and it's winter. So yeah, time isn't on my side. One thing that I do want to say is that a lot of people, especially musicians, were all really bad for it. When it comes to talking about gear and stuff, if you're not using the same stuff that other people are using, you'll normally get the, "Oh my God, that's terrible. I can't believe you're doing that," kind of response. There'll be a lot of people that watch this video and think that about my stuff, and don't think that you can't start doing music, or don't think that you're not going to be able to do this with the equipment that you have because, oh, it's too cheap and it's too this and it's too that. I cut so many shortcuts when I started out. I've literally only just got to a stage where I've got equipment where I can feel like I can start doing this video. Behind me are 2 monitors. They are tannoy monitors. I think they're about £200, but I could be wrong. For me, they work fine. At the end of the day, before this, I was literally listening to music from the speakers built into my iMac, which is not good at all, but they work for me. So I will leave a link in the description box to all of the equipment that I do use in case you want to check it out. The interface that I'm currently using is the Scarlett 2i2, and that's from a company called Focusrite. They're really well known for their Scarlett interfaces. They're really, really good. If you are looking for a new interface, they are a really good price point, and there's no complaints so far. People always ask how you actually record the covers. So what you need a laptop, or you need a computer, you need a USB interface, and then you need your microphones. When I first started off, I was like 16 and I was using a USB microphone. That is another way that you can start off. At the end of the day, know that a USB microphone is going to be pretty rubbish quality, but it's going to get the job done. Looking back now, they're obviously a completely different quality to what I have now, but it is a starting point. I think I got my USB microphone for about £30. That is the best place to start. I get a lot of comments saying, why don't you just record yourself doing a video? Is it because you can't sing? No, it's just because I want to get it perfect. I'm a singer. I want everything to be nice and neat and organized. I want to put effects on certain things that I want to put effects on. That is pretty much it for the gear that I actually need to do my covers. So now I'm just going to go on to like plugins and software and stuff like that. The first thing I have is this Akai Professional MIDI controller. I don't use it a whole lot, don't really need to. I obviously use Logic Pro for my editing, and you can just whack up the keyboard on that. So when I am programming synths or piano, I do use that. Going into the editing software, I use something called Logic Pro. You can only get it on a Mac computer, so if you are on a PC, you won't be able to use it. And for me, I've never used anything else. I know that people use Cubase and things like that. I'm not going to go a whole lot into editing or things like high end and low end and what you need to knock out, because I'm not a producer. I am very, very basic at my editing. I pretty much use a lot of presets, and I just kind of tweak things until they sound quite good, and then I test them out on various outputs. I'm just going to go through kind of plugins and things that I use. So the first is a preset on Logic called Thick and Clean. I discovered this when I was doing Doomsday Architects. It just had a really nice sound to it. So now I do basically have that saved as a preset. I tweaked it ever so slightly, and I will use that for my guitars. I just feel like it has a really nice sound for when I'm just playing really simple chords, but it also takes out a lot of the bass, so you don't get that booming sound basically when I continue the chords and they're just being played. It kind of cuts that out. Otherwise it kind of overlays onto other chords because it's still being played, and then it kind of ruins the mix. Something else that I've used a lot recently as well is Tone Forge Jason Richardson by Joey Sturgis Tones. I actually got this when I did a sponsorship with Joey Sturgis Tones on the Architects Doomsday video, and ever since I've just been using it to kind of tweak my mixes slightly. If the lighting does look a little bit different, it's because I've turned the lights on. The light in this video is driving me crazy. Plugin wise for vocals, there isn't really a whole lot that I use. One plugin that I do use for vocals, which is my favorite, is Joey Sturgis Gain Reduction Deluxe. Yet again, I was given that one on a sponsorship with Joey a while ago, and I've used it on quite a few covers since then just because it's really, really handy. I just find that it makes the vocals come out of the mix a little bit more. A lot of the time I do find it quite difficult to replicate how I sound live. I feel like I sound completely different recorded than I do live. I feel like my voice is a lot more punchier. And I feel like sometimes in the mix it can sound a bit flat, but I find that Gain Reduction Deluxe has helped that a lot. It also obviously helps with clipping and compression, so if you are looking for something just to take your vocals to the next level, I would recommend checking it out. Joey Sturgis normally has quite a few offers on their website, so I'd recommend just signing up to the mailing list or something, checking it out and seeing what you can find. I will put all the links in the description box so you can find everything after this. In terms of actual equipment, I have a Shure PG42, and that is what I use to record my vocals on. Like I said before, I did used to have a standard USB microphone. I don't even remember the brand. I don't actually think it had a brand. I think it might have been like an own brand thing. So that's what I used to use. And then after that, I got the SEX1 by SE Electronics. And now I'm using the Shure PG42. It is an XLR microphone, so it's not jack or anything like that. You will need an interface to put it in. I think that's one of the most important things to know about if you want to do this kind of thing, or if you want to make music. You will need an interface that has an XLR input, because if you don't, you'll be really limited in basically what what you can use. I also do have a pop shield. This one is again from Shure. In case you guys don't know or you haven't recorded before, you will need a pop shield to basically stop that popping effect when you say certain words. So things like the word pop with a certain pronunciation, if you don't use a pop shield, you'll get a lot of clipping and you'll hear that sound constantly in all of your songs basically. So I actually don't have any synth packs. There are a couple that I've wanted to download, but they are quite expensive. And because I feel like I can get a really good sound with the presets in Logic, it's just not something that I've done. Some of my favorite synths that I use are Logic presets, like I mentioned, and that is Airways in Logic. And then I also use just the general orchestral ones in Logic. So stuff like violins and cellos, things like that, just to kind of build up a bit of an orchestral vibe. I'm probably giving trade secrets here, which I really shouldn't, but it's fine. The synth called Airways is just basically a really nice ambience that kind of matches the guitar style that I use really. It's just quite a nice ambience that goes well with all the reverb and the delay. So that's what I use for a lot of my covers. I'll get onto the video equipment I use first, but quickly I'm just going to talk about syncing. So if, like me, you want to make the music first and then do the video afterwards, I know that some people are a bit confused about how you actually sync up the audio. There isn't really a particular way that I do this. I do just use the built-in camera's microphone. It's pretty much as simple as when I'm recording the video for it, I am obviously lip syncing or I am singing along with the track. So I'll have Logic in the background, I'll press play, and then I will sing or mime along to the track. Firstly, I will drag the audio into Final Cut Pro, and then I will drag the video into it. The best advice I can give you is markers are really, really helpful. If I recorded 20 minutes of video and I'm constantly going back to the computer to turn it off or to go through a different line, I will literally just select the marker. Obviously, as you're singing, you're gonna hear the music and you're gonna see yourself singing, so you just match it up that way. Another really good way, which is really helpful, which sometimes I use, especially for the beginning of songs, is that you can see the wave marks of the audio file when you're in Final Cut Pro. So it will kind of roughly match. It might be a little bit louder, but generally the wave marks will be pretty similar. So if you're really stuck on something or you can't see it matching up, then I would just move it to the audio marks, and normally that works, but normally you just gotta hear it and try it yourself. Now I'm gonna go onto video editing. I'm aware that this is probably gonna be a really long video, so I hope that you guys have stuck with this. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. At the moment, I'm using the Canon 70D. The main reason that I got this camera is basically because it can do slow-mo, which my old one couldn't do. And also I had the option of using some really nice Sigma lenses. So I decided to go for this one, and I'm really, really happy with it because the depth of field is really nice. I get that really nice blurry background effect that I didn't quite get with my last one. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I do also have a Canon vlogging camera. It also has a flip out screen. I only use this one for vlogging, and I use that one for all of my sit down videos and my music covers. In terms of lighting, as you can tell, lighting's been awful today. That's because it is currently winter in the UK. Even in the morning when it's really light, the light will deteriorate really quickly. In my older videos, you might notice that I never had any kind of lighting. I literally used the lighting that was in my room at the time. Since I won YouTube Next Up, it gave me the opportunity to upgrade my gear. So I'm lucky enough that I was able to buy a ring light. So the reason that I went for this ring light is because I can change the color balance basically. So I think that that's it. I think I've pretty much covered everything and all the gear that I use. If you do have any questions or you want a different kind of video on how I actually do it and maybe taking you through my process, or even the gear that I have for live, which is really different. Obviously there's in-ear monitors and live mics, then please do let me know. I hope this helps some of you guys. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.